Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. This video is a guide all about a very special upgrading item called Omnicite. Introduced in version 2.12 for the 3rd anniversary, Omnicite is a one-use consumable which fully levels up an adventurer, fully promotes them in rarity, and unlocks all of their mana nodes, including their mana spiral if they have one. If you're new to Dragalia Lost, most adventurers cap out at 50 mana nodes, but some can be powered up all the way to 70 nodes, and the extra nodes are called the mana spiral. Omnicites are rare items, and at the time of recording, only 2 total have been distributed. These were free to all players as an anniversary login bonus. According to an interview which Nintendo Dreamweb conducted with Dragalia Lost Director Okada, Omnicite will be distributed via events and login bonuses in the future, and it's not intended to be a paid item. Omnicite is essentially just a free resource saver and should be used as such. The question of who to use Omnicite on ultimately boils down to which adventurers require the most material and time investment to build, because using an Omnicite on adventurers in that category represents the largest savings. In an ideal case, if you've yet to start on the chosen unit at all, then the whole cost to build them will be free. The total materials needed to fully unlock mana nodes varies with rarity, with whether or not a unit has a mana spiral, and with whether or not their spiral is gated behind quests called Trials of the Mighty. Trials rotate in and out depending on the week, so for adventurers whose mana spirals require items from Trials of the Mighty, there's an extra dimension of time and inconvenience to fully building them. Players can only earn a small handful of devotion and conviction items daily from Trials of the Mighty, and most weeks the trials for the specific adventurer you intend to build might not even be available. When comparing material costs, the other big bottlenecks are Champion's Testaments and Eldwater. 5-star units cost more Golden Champion's Testaments to fully build, and these are much scarcer than the corresponding Silver Knight's Testaments used for lower rarity units. For Eldwater, all units require 73,000 to unlock the co-ability and chain co-ability nodes in the 5th mana circle, but lower rarity adventurers also require Eldwater to promote to a higher rarity, 2,500 to go from 3-star to 4-star, and 25,000 from 4-star to 5-star. For the most part, Champion's Testaments are rarer than Eldwater though, so 5 stars are costlier to build overall. In addition, it's commonly, though not always the case, that 5 stars have more unique skills and abilities. Looking at the cost side by side, the only adventurers you should use an Omnicite on are those of a 5-star rarity who also have a mana spiral, in order to maximize your savings as much as possible. Among 5 stars, you then face a question of whether to Omnicite a Trials spiral or a traditional spiral adventurer. Going with Trials units is a huge time savings and what I'd generally recommend, even though traditional units are not a bad choice either, because you do technically save 1 more Champion's Testament that way. Regardless, just be sure the unit you use an Omnicite on is a 5-star with some kind of spiral for maximum value. A frequent question I get is, how do you know which adventurers have a mana spiral to begin with? To check this, I suggest switching the mana circle's display mode from 3D to 2D in the options menu. When you do so, you'll be able to scroll all the way through each adventurer's entire mana tree. Those whose nodes go up to 70 have a spiral, and those whose nodes only go up to 50 do not. Alternatively, if you want to use an external resource, the Dragalia Lost wiki is a great option for this type of information. The wiki is where I looked up all the spiral costs for this video, and a link to the wiki is in the description. A final question you may have is who exactly to Omnicite among the pool of 5-star units with mana spirals, and this is the hardest to answer. Who to pick will vary based on your current roster, and by the time you're watching this video, more mana spirals could very well have been introduced, changing things. At the time of recording, some of the best DPS picks are Kirsty, Lazri, and Leah for their respective elements. Their spirals are locked behind Trials of the Mighty, and they grant Dispel and game-changing kit upgrades. Normally building these characters would require waiting for the relevant trials to be available and clearing those day by day for one mana node upgrade at a time, but with the use of an Omnicite, you can bypass all of that grinding and fully power up these adventurers. Other options are Wedding Aoi if you need a Stormlash enabler, or Gala Yuden or Luca for a strong light DPS. Among healers, Summer Verica is the best, followed by Akasha and then Yukata Cassandra. In my opinion, if you're brand new to the game, Summer Verica is probably the best choice. With the use of an Omnicite, she becomes a fantastic healer for lots of early content, including the High Dragon Trials, Agito Uprising, Void Battles, and so on. The 4-star healers Vixel and Nurse Eileen are fantastic too, but I don't think they're worth using Omnicite on since you won't be getting that sweet savings on Champion's Testaments. Just build them naturally over time instead. And well, that is pretty much going to do it for this video. To recap, always use your Omnicite on 5-star adventurers who have mana spirals. A mana spiral means 70 mana nodes, and certain spirals take longer to max than others because the required materials are time-gated behind quests called Trials of the Mighty. It's these particular spirals that most players will likely want to spend their Omnicite to work around, to save both time and resources. And the less you've already invested in the unit who you want to Omnicite, the better. You'll save more materials that way and won't waste any precious Eldwater or Champion's Testaments. Leave a comment to let me know who you plan to use your Omnicite on. Thank you as always for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.